So Draymond was on all the smoke, and best believe he provided all the smoke.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? And, obviously what sticks out the most is he's still, well, I'm not going to say he's still, because he didn't get to say too much about this previously.
Yeah.
But it is still a topic because now he's talking about it, is his feud. Well, can we call it a feud with KD?
No.
Well, he doesn't see it as one necessarily.
Okay, so we'll say his disagreement. His disagreement with Kevin Durant.
And the disagreement.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so for him to bring it up and for him to share his side of things, what do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about what he had to say? Do you guys think that, he had like a lot of genuine, feeling within what he was saying, or?
Oh, I think he kept it 100% from his perspective. Like, I don't think he
ever
lied about
again,
his
that's
side.
that's a good way of putting it from his perspective,
right?
Like you were saying beforehand.
Right.
To if it's the truth as to the way that these guys carry themselves, which side that I had to believe, if I had to, and I don't favor Draymond Green in any setting. I think you guys both know that. I think we all share a pretty...
Except for the setting of keeping it real.
Yeah, and I think that's it. It seemed very believable. It seemed very, very believable to me because after that, believe it or not, because I finished watching that interview because it was so damn long. I started at like 1 or midnight.
So hard.
Ended up at 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. going back to that specific play when they were arguing.
I like how Matt Barnes sarcastically was like, longest podcast we ever had. Like,
right. That's what I said.
Damn well that was the longest one.
And from the play that it took place in, it looked like it's exactly what happened. Who the hell's scared of Draymond Green coming down the court like he's gonna attack the rim? Right. Nobody. I'm sorry. He'll trick a layup every time if you need him to, as long as it's contested. He went down and he was trying to get him the rock, but from one baseline to the other, you see Kevin Durant.
He was clapping.
Yeah. And I mean, he's trying to set you up for a play. I mean, easy misunderstanding between the two of them.
Right.
And I want to say that much because
to KD, it's like he wanted to bring the ball up.
He wanted to do the full.
Draymond wanted to get him the ball, but in half court.
He was just impatient.
And what's also interesting about it is we've seen KD make that shot on LeBron like 2 times.
48
for important
times.
Right, but for like the most important.
Oh yeah,
the finals that sit on it, pull up because he's 7 foot and
right.
I think that's what he was looking for again against the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers.
So, he went into so much detail about so many things that I've seen KD's. And KD seems unbothered, and I do hope one day they're cool or whatever, because it doesn't seem like.
I think I just hope KD's doesn't all right, it's cool, bro.
I hope that's what it is.
Right.
But I do really, in the bottom of my heart, think that, Kevin Durant's a superstar. So if he wanted the ball full court, he wanted the ball full court. You know what I mean? So I think that's just how he's seen it. Yeah. And if he didn't get it that way, then eventually shit was going to explode.
But I also think what Draymond says is true. Like if Kevin Durant wanted to stay, he'd be like,
yeah,
hey, bro. And he said it. He was like, I would have been like, okay, I mean, I get you. Like, I'm not going to.
Huge point. Right. And Bob Myers and them would have thought,
they would have.
There's no thinking twice about
exactly.
Like, there's no
Kevin
way.
Durant.
He's self-aware. Like, bro, you're not going to pick
And then we all realized how good Kevin Durant's defense was during this span as well.
Right.
So it's
if it was like KD and Steph, then they got something to think about.
Yeah, of course.
You know
of course
they do. But KD and Draymond, no, there's nothing to think about. Mm-hmm. Are you going to think about 28 points a game, or are you going to think about 9?
Glue. You think about glue pretty much, I guess. But I mean, that was never a thought because they knew Kevin Durant took them over the top. And ultimately, obviously, man, you know what it is anytime you set up these super teams. You're mixing personalities, and you know this is a possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
You know this is a possibility
At this point,
if
you're going to do super team, you got to just realize, like, bro, they all eventually just got the way.
It's gonna happen.
Sometimes eventually it's too hard to control everybody's ego. Like,
and I would say it's different from a perspective because, man, every super team I can remember, dog. Like even if you talk about like the Lakers trading for Shaq, issues. You talk about the Miami Heat ordeal, not too many issues. Brotherhood, we understand why you're going back. And leading into this, majority of the times, if it's not further, let me put it this way, if it's not further than basketball before you put together the super team, then the shakedown for it could be a little ugly between the media. And that's just what it seems to be to me. It's one or the other. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why, like, you see a lot of these teams, they break up because of egos. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
just as we said on the last episode that we recorded of The Last Dance, more egos brings more problems. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's up to the coach. So it's up to Steve Kerr in that situation in which Draymond said, nobody did shit.
Nobody gave
for
warning.
For a year of it. Because he was like, and then when they finally figured out there was an issue with Kevin,
It's too late.
they were all like, Draymond's like, y'all just figured this out? I've been telling y'all for the
When he
past
was
year.
sitting in the corner, right? When he didn't even care for the ball.
Right.
I think
It's like, I've been telling y'all for a year now that there's something wrong. And, for Draymond to be the closest person in that organization to KD and for them to not take his insight seriously, that's on them.
Tells you something,
yeah.
right?
That's not even on Draymond at that point.
And I think there was one thing, and if I could take this whole thing as we talk about Draymond spits the truth here, there was one thing I just could not let go to think about is after they won the first chip, it was about LeBron James on ESPN, where he basically stated is LeBron James the best player the day after they won, and KD did what he did. I don't think that drove an indifference for KD. I think he got hungrier. I think he wanted to prove it again, which they did.
Right.
No, I think what the thing what happened with KD was the main thing was there was a large Warriors fan base that was just adamant on standing Steph.
Steph, yeah.
And they would never give KD his proper respect.
Right.
They were always it's Steph's team. They would refuse it, and knowing how sensitive he is, it used to get under his skin. Because there used to be this hashtag called Steph better. They're like, no, he's better. He's the reason why he's doing this and that.
Remember that? Yeah, I didn't know that was
No, I've seen where
that's crazy.
Not from the Bay.
Wow.
That's what he said. He said it before. One dude that's popular podcast. I'm not drawing a blank on the name, but he said he literally called him out. Was like, that's one of the reasons I left because he was one of the kings of of Steph stands.
And the thing about that, man, is it should be their team at a certain. I understand Steph gets the hometown. I get that. I'm fine with that.
Just show your respect.
It's how hard is it?
Yeah. Everybody knows it's always gonna be Steph's team, but it's
we know who the better player is.
You don't gotta downplay KD or be he's not the best player.
Right.
You're pretty much talking him down.
Steph ain't
what's
getting
the
those
point?
extra two if it ain't for him.
And this is all within the same franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This
bro,
is all fans of the same
at
franchise.
At this point, you like the team. Who cares at that point?
I mean, no, because if
you know
we
what though? You know what this sound like? It sound like those Warrior bandwagon fans that used to be Laker fans.
Possible.
Yeah, and they became fans because of Steph.
My thing ultimately is we all know
they
who.
went from Kobe standing to Steph
I think
standing.
I think that's a case of maybe KD being sensitive because Warrior fans are sensitive because their homeboy isn't the best player on the team when KD's on the court. He's not. KD's the best player. We all know it.
Too.
Exactly. So. I would
he
say
should have known that was gonna happen.
No, that's the thing. He definitely should have, but the whole thing is that
to the extent
we've seen that KD's a little sensitive. He had burner accounts to respond to people. It's gonna get under his skin, so it's not shouldn't be surprising that something like that gets under his skin.
He's about that life. I think it goes both ways. Now that we're discussing it,
but I mean, regardless, I don't think he left because of any of that, except for the fact that
moment.
Well, actually, I do think that he left because of these things, but to add more to it, on the more personal side is if we think about who these players are personally, you can't relate to any of these guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Draymond is the closest guy you are. You're closest
and
to
they're
Draymond.
Completely 360 type
else?
of characters
180.
between Kevin Durant.
Right.
I mean, they're just not. Yeah, 180.
180, not the same at all.
But they're just
right.
It's just
but
it's a weird story.
You got Steph, who's a real nice guy, and he can probably relate to almost anybody. But he's a family man.
Right.
He got time. He has to spend his time with his family. And then you got Clay, who, that boy Clay, he party hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Clay's never getting up a shot.
That's matter. Rodman.
Right.
That was hilarious.
That man Clay.
It's your quiet Rodman right there.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just essentially the fact that it just wasn't the right situation. It was only the right situation for him to get a championship in, but not for anything else. It wasn't a setting for him to lay a foundation in.
Yeah, it was just to taste the gold, now feel it through your veins type of deal. I think.
Then now he wants to go try to.
Yeah, if he was expecting to be the most loved dude, you should have just stayed, bro. There's no way you were gonna go to walk into or go to Boston or whatever. Go somewhere. If you're going in there, Steph, the reigning MVP's there. Bro, you're gonna have, especially when it's homegrown.
Yeah, I don't think that
people are gonna get more
of the picture was thought through.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I don't think this portion of it was ever thought through as much as Kevin Durant
just thought I need a championship right now.
Right.
That could be it. And then he realized he didn't like put too much in. Like, oh damn, this is like all the stuff I got to deal with.
And they would have. And then they discussed what else. I mean, there was the three-peat that they were gonna have. They discussed that.
Yeah.
Thinking as long as they were healthy, they would have it. They definitely discussed 2016.
But he said if they won 2016, like, there's no guarantee they win 2017.
Right, because there's no guarantee.
Well, because they wouldn't have got Kevin Durant at that point.
Like, it was already hard enough.
Now, if they had got the thing was getting Kevin Durant was all up to Draymond Green at that point.
Right.
You know, when he discussed the B.J. Armstrong thing, where it was like you can take 85, you can take 96, but 85 is what gets this guy, which is Kevin Durant.
So yeah, full year ahead they were planning it.
And I think no matter what the case is, right? Let's say none of this happens, or maybe nothing happens between him and Draymond. Everything's smoothed over. That was cool. It didn't happen. I still, to be God honest with you, I told Tyler this the other day. Kevin Durant is signing 1+1s until the death of him, for the most part, until he knows
he wants like the last 3-4 years.
Exactly. And that's what happened in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, with Golden State, no matter what, I knew it was going to be 1+1. Like, you know what I mean? Like 1 year deals, 2 year, you know, here and there, pick and pop.
So let's steer it back to Draymond stating that. So we all know, or we all like to think that Steph changed the game, the way that it's played and whatnot. You know, obviously expanding it way past 3-point line. But then you have Draymond who is chiming in like, "Oh yeah, I changed the game too." You know what I mean? But we all did it. Right. It was me, Steph, and Clay. You know. So what do you guys think about him thinking that he was part of the game changing? Like, where was his contribution to
to you guys? I can see from him, like, is his defense and being able, like, that switchable 5 and take advantage of small ball. Because they're really, like, one of the few teams that were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they almost introduced it to this era.
Prior.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, there's not really no other small ball lineup anymore. Like, almost every lineup has a center again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel like it was
it's a tough. I think it's tough for him, right? Because, like, when we think of change basketball forever, we only think of the jump shot. Right, so that statement immediately gets blown up. Like, holy hell, what are you talking about, dog? You couldn't shoot to save your life.
Right.
But I think if he has his hand in it, it's definitely to Juan's credit as to what he's saying is about the 5 ball, small ball 5. So I mean, and if it comes into anywhere, in a regard besides him playing point forward and playing that small ball 5, if it's anything other than that, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. But if it is that, then
it's the 3-point
obviously,
shooter
and that's my mind. Like, that's what I'm thinking he's trying to get off.
I just think maybe he thinks that since Steph changed the game and he was setting screens for Steph, he's part of that. You know what I mean?
Best screener ever.
I'm the best screener ever. I was setting screens for the guy that changed the game, so I changed the game too. That's what I was saying.
You know, let me tell you something. I make some of the best 3-load laundry you'll ever see on the east side of Las Vegas.
Fake news.
Real fake.
I mean, you get it though. Come on, man. Ruined it. No. Ruined it. No. I make a really good 3-load laundry. First of all, let's get this through. Come on.
Hey, you make a superb 2-load laundry. I'll tell you that right there.
I mean, as long as I'm there, you know what I mean. Like as long as I last in the top 5 over here, then.
No, man, you top 3 and you not 3.
And there's so many other things I could think of that I do. I mean, I skip rocks really good on the water. You know, I put groceries away at a rapid pace if need be.
You guys get the point. Jesus, he was never going to end until we got the point. He was mad
that we rejected his alley.
I had to get something else in.
I'm going back in there.
All right, now, is there anything that I may have forgotten? Touching up on. I feel like those are the most important things as far as what we talked about on that.
Perception, final perception of the interview for me is that, as you stated earlier, he hasn't spoken on this yet. So forgive him for being a motor mouth, which he already is. We already knew that, right? But he's getting everything off his chest at one time. So I feel there's nothing wrong with it, and I do think that he shared a lot of truth as to, like Juan said, his perception. So I
think it's how he brought up the beef with Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's
how big that interview was.
Right. Yeah. That's how long it was. You know what I'm saying?
But I think is that I get his point that Charles Barkley just pretty much sounds like a hater most of the time, which is true.
When it comes to him, yeah.
Most of the time when he's roasting, he's not like cracking jokes like, "Oh, your jumper's ugly, this or that, this and that." Like sometimes you can tell he's just straight being bitter about it.
It's you ugly. I'll punch you in the left eye.
Yeah, it's that, but it's also how Draymond's response is also disrespecting and putting himself like over.
But I think the thing with them was, and he gave me a good comparison to let me see light on this, is that he wasn't responding forever. And Chuck just kept on going.
Right. Yeah,
and so when he did respond, it was like,
the bear.
Let me give you some of this fire. And as to like where you can understand he doesn't like it off the first response, Chuck never stopped. He kept poking as to where you look at a JaVale McGee with a Shaq.
He pointed out.
A real dude, a real ass dude. Okay, I see.
Oh, that's my bad, bro.
But I don't know if he wants him to admit like it's affecting my career because Draymond's a three-time champ.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I
don't think it is. He's just kind of like,
bro, break him. He wants to break him into the public. You know what I mean? Like, hey, just admit it, dog, and I'll stop. Like, like that could be it, bro. I don't know, man. You know, I'm as confused as you are.
Right, but you know, at the end of that, I'm glad that he made it seem like he was willing to keep the conversation open with Chuck. He was willing to sit down and actually talk to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's real mature of him. That's real. That's real. That's real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So kudos to him on that, Chuck. I hope you watched it.
And it's true.
I don't know if you after those 2 hours.
And you just be talking.
Chuck probably got the
he be going on set ready. Just I'm gonna piss Shaq off today. I'm ready.
He's the ultimate troll, dog.
Definitely.
Let's be real.
The king and
the GOAT.
The best part is that he is not affected, bro. He'll keep punching back and back and back and back, and he can back himself
kind
up
of similar to the basketball court, dog.
Yeah.
And at least Dre admitted he knows what's up on the court, though, too. Say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It took a man point of him to admit that he understood what it was for real.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Let us know what you guys think about Draymond, about how he could talk for years, and about the things that he said. You know, just stay tuned for more content, man. We flowing. It's quarantine season, but we still out here, baby.